welcome you live to the NASCAR We welcome you live to iCar here tonight from Bristol Motor Speedway. So we are officially here underway, and this is our second iCar broadcast of the season. Of course, iCar is a partner of the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League. They run, of course, ARCA cars. That's what we got on the table here for tonight. Car is going to be pulling on to the racetrack here from Bristol Motor Speedway. So, of course, cars on track to qualifying. We'll get you a bit of qualifying here coming up in just a few short moments. And, of course, this is technically not a part of the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League, but it is race number 9 of the iCar season, and we are going to be underway here tonight for iCar. Car is going to be on the racetrack. We'll be up in here in just a couple of quick seconds. All right. 3 minutes to go here in qualifying. Cars on the racetrack for iCar qualifying at Bristol Motor Speedway. As cars, there's Cameron Chandler so far top of the board. Of course, he is your points leader, multiple wins on the season. He also won the only other iCar broadcast this season. That was, of course, the Daytona race. That was a race combo with the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League with our ARCA series. Of course, iCar is a partner of the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League, and it is live here tonight on the channel for one of our broadcasts for iCar here tonight. We're going to, of course, have more iCar broadcasts towards the end of the season. And they run ARCA cars. It's 150 laps here tonight. No halfway breaks, so slightly different rules to the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League. Of course, so far, Chandler, Cherry, White, top of the board. There is the 30 of Elkwich getting a little bit sideways. You're also going to see some familiar faces here tonight, a lot of them at least. Most of these drivers have competed in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League in some way, shape, or form. We also have a former Cup champion and a former Xfinity champion, of course, Matthew White and Cameron Chandler in the field here tonight. There is the 30 on his lid. There is the 51 of usage coming onto the racetrack. You're also going to see some maybe future NASCAR iRacing FedEx League drivers. So, of course, Xfinity has a 4-month limit on how old your account, how young your account can be. Cup is an 8-month limit. Of course, there's more restrictions to get into Cup, which makes it even harder. So, as there is the 99 heading down the back straightaway into 1 and 2. So, of course, you may see some future NASCAR iRacing FedEx League stars in this race here tonight. Some drivers you haven't seen in the league before. And, of course, iCar does not have an I rating limit whatsoever. Or safety rating limit on that matter. Of course, the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series heads to Bristol in 2 days' time. Of course, we will not have any events tomorrow night on Wednesday because the Xfinity Series is off. Xfinity will be back next week in Darlington. Minutes to go here in qualifying. It's still Cameron Chandler, top of the board. Oh, we got somebody in victory lane. That's Juan Cobbs Jr. And he's currently parked in a victory lane here at Bristol Motor Speedway. So no cars on the racetrack currently. They have about 50 seconds to go. 12 cars currently entered. So let's look at some of your iCar stats here so far this season. So, of course, Cameron Chandler has been kind of the star of the show. Currently, he leads the point standings with 370 points, over a 70-point lead over second place Nolan Walker. Then you got Matthew White currently P3, Cole Wilson, Bryce Benton P4 and P5. And we look at your most recent race from Atlanta Motor Speedway. That was won by Cameron Chandler. And a pretty intense race. That was 8 caution flags. We of course, didn't have a broadcast for that. Cameron Chandler also won some races earlier in the season. Of course, remember, the only other broadcast we had this season for iCar, he won at Daytona. Cameron also took the victory in South Boston. He also took the win in Iowa. couple of other winners. Matthew White also won a race this season. Cameron Chandler won at USA Speedway as well. Richard Cherry took the checkered flag at Dover. Taking the checkered flag at Richmond was Matthew White. So 4 or 5 winners this season. A pretty decent iCar season so far. The first season of the Pro Series. As cars are on the grid, we welcome you live to iCar. Their 9th race of the season. Of course, the schedule mostly aligns with the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League. Of course, Cup will be on track in 2 days' time. And usual Thursday night Cup race. For the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series, it's their 6th race of season number 4. And you'll see some of your Cup Series stars like Cameron Chandler, Matthew White, Payson Lindsay, Connor Asbell, Braden Hunsicker in this race here tonight, as they look to gain experience for the 250-lap Cup race on Thursday night. This is the support series for the weekend, as of course 100 laps, 150 laps I should say. No stage. There will be of course the choose cone, so no guaranteed cautions here tonight at Bristol. But we are ready to go for the 9th race of the iCar season here from Bristol Motor Speedway. Of course, in the sunshine here in Bristol, the Cup Series will have their usual race under the lights in 2 days' time. Cameron Chandler leading the field to the green flag. Can he win his 5th race of the season, I believe? He has been dominant so far this year. Has a 74-point gap on 2nd place Nolan Walker, who's starting all the way back down in P10. To his outside is that Toyota Camry of Richard Cherry. Row number 2 will consist of Matthew White and Carlos Ortiz. Good start for him, currently P4. They come to 1 to go till the start this time by Lindsey Asbell inside the top 10. Same thing with Ethan McMillan, Braden Hunsicker, and Nolan Walker rounds out your top 10. You got Juan Cobbs Jr. and Elquich in 12th. All right. As they roll through 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway, the final time before the green flag. Side by side, Cameron Chandler, Richard Cherry at the front of the field, ready to come to the green. Pace car makes that hard left turn of pit road. The iCar season number 1 Pro Series race in Bristol is underway. Chandler side by side with Cherry. Cherry around the outside gets momentum. He will lead lap number 1 here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Chandler fighting back though in the inside lane. Oh, they're making contact behind him. You got a car up the racetrack. In the wall is Ethan McMillan. We keep it green so far. I believe we are going to stay green as they come to lap number 3. Chandler currently with the lead heading down the back straightaway. He got around Richard Cherry. There's that 7. Then they got the 18 of Matthew White behind him. Carlos Ortiz starting to back up. Oh, spinner already! And there goes Asbell around. He spins in front of multiple cars. Juan Cobbs Jr. has the fence. The 30 of Elquich is there. The caution is out for the first time tonight here from Bristol. Connor Asbell goes around. Nearly collected a couple others as well. And unlike the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series, which had a long green flag run to start the race last season here at Bristol, that was the championship cutoff race, we have a caution flag on lap number 4. Let's take a look at what happened to bring out the first yellow of the night with Connor Asbell. He's down there, riding by himself, single file. Oh, he makes a deep move into the 51 that he gets turned around. And then he gets hit by the 16 that ultimately Braden Hunsicker ends up getting him spun around fully. Oh, and then Ethan McMillan got a piece of it as well. Let's ride along with Juan Cobbs Jr. through this accident. They go ahead of him. And, oh, to the wall goes Cobbs. So, caution flag will fly for the opening time. Cars are on pit road. I believe some of your leaders are electing to stay out. So Cameron Chandler currently has the lead. I believe Cherry actually pitted in the back. So some of your cars involved in the accident as well. Richard Cherry comes to pit road from 2nd place, and he is going to be 7th. So, first caution flag working here at Bristol Motor Speedway. 6 laps into the 150 as Richard Cherry will, I believe, come down pit road yet again. Look on pit road, Ethan McMillan has damage. He's getting put a lap down. We've got one stopped here. I think the 30 of Elkwich actually had a spin or something, and he's gotten that thing going in the right direction again. So, of course, it is Bristol week all around the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League, our support league, or not support league, I should say, our partner league. Oh my God, we got a car crashing on the back straightaway. It is Connor Aswell trying to get back up to the field, goes around. Let's take a look at what happened to Connor Aswell in the 72. He came in way too high, and yeah, couldn't get that thing slowed down. Goes around on the back straightaway. Wow, it has been chaotic so far here tonight. And Asbel looks like he actually avoided big damage. They will come to the choose this time by. Asbel looks like he avoided big damage on that 72, but I have to be careful of that. So, early caution takes out a couple of contenders here. Juan Cobbs Jr. and Ethan McMillan currently 2 and 3 laps down. Matthew White's going to be on the inside of Cameron Chandler, so Chandler, your leader, elects the outside lane. Been kind of the stronger lane for restarts here at Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll be back underway here on lap number 9 from the last great Coliseum. Back underway in Bristol. Great jump for the 8 of Cameron Chandler. He'll get clear. Oh, and they're wrecking to the back again. There goes the 77 of Nolan Walker into the wall hard. We'll see if a caution flag comes out. I believe it will. Or actually, no, it will not. We will stay green from all that. And Chandler will take him back to blind. I'm surprised that we were able to stay green with all that happening behind him. There's Matthew White currently in 2nd place. Jason Lindsay driven that thing up to 3rd. Braden Hunsicker battling with Carlos Ortiz for 4th. There is Usech in the 51 to the inside of Carlos. Through 3 and 4 they go. And 1 and 2 they go back down the backstretch here. Just to the outside there is Richard Cherry putting his nose down in there in the 77 Toyota to the inside of that 51. Momentum around the outside now, side by side with that 99 of Carlos Ortiz. Ortiz falls back to 6th. Cherry now in the bumper of that 99 machine. Asbel, I believe, went to the garage 2 laps down now. Back around the outside, here comes Cherry. On fresher tires than most of these drivers in the field. You do get 2 second tires on pit road tonight. Cherry trying to make them work early on. Cameron Chandler already has a 0.5 of a second lead over Matthew White. Of course, going back to last season in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League, Cameron Chandler ended up winning the Xfinity race where he was full-time, and then one of his Select Cup Series starts. So he is definitely one of the best in the field here at Bristol Motor Speedway. We know he can definitely get it done here tonight. And he's going to be looking for his first Cup win of the season in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series for their 6th race of the calendar in season number 4 on Thursday. Of course, iCar and the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League went to Atlanta Motor Speedway last week. Of course, iCar had a pretty chaotic, caution-filled race. Xfinity did as well in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League, but the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series had a very strange race. There was, of course, a very long green flag run to the end of the race. There is not a single caution flag in the second half after the halfway break. And that ended up with a green flag pit stop happening and basically 15 cars getting a pit road penalty. That only left about 7 in the main group of machines to fight it out for the victory. And then we had a photo finish between Braden Hunsicker and Dylan Banks. And of course, here is your Atlanta winner from last week. Braden Hunsicker scored his first victory of the season and first victory in the Cup Series since Chicagoland last season in season number 3. As here is Cherry back behind the 51 of Eustace, trying to break inside of the top 5 once again. We know that 7 machine has pace, but he does have a bit of damage on his front ends. To the inside of that number 51 Toyota. He will drive it down there. Oh, in the wall, Braden Hunsicker in front of these two. Luckily, they are all both able to step on the brakes. Hunsicker up the racetrack once again. Cherry gonna maybe get a 2-for-1 here down in the inside lane. Side by side through turns 3 and 4. And he will clear Braden Hunsicker, and Hunsicker has another slide off corner exit. He continues to fall back. Back to the inside is that number 51. Your leader, Cameron Chandler, has about a 1.1 second lead over Matthew White. Eustace back to the inside of Hunsicker. He will clear him once again. Braden Hunsicker back to P6, so not having the start he wanted so far. Of course, hit the wall earlier on in the run. There is Pace and Lindsay now kind of on the hot seat as Richard Cherry begins to close up the gap. Looking back up front, there is second place Matthew White, and there is your current leader, Cameron Chandler. Starting to maybe catch some lap traffic in a few moments. Side by side ahead of him is the 77 of Nolan Walker to the inside of that number 30 of Elkwich. Oh, that's a big send by the 30. There is your leader, Cameron Chandler, coming up quick. And he'll be to them in just probably a short few moments. Here is Pace and Lindsay starting to get ran down by the 7 of Richard Cherry. As Chandler begins to enter lap traffic. Make his way down to the inside of that number 30. Almost contact between the lap car and your leader. Now Cherry makes his way to the bumper nearly of that 99 of Pace and Lindsay. Lindsay's been good so far tonight. Currently sits on a podium position. I need more pace as the 7 of Richard Cherry is coming to his rear bumper. But of course, Cherry on fresher tires than most of the field up front. Closing the gap yet again for third. Back here, Cameron Chandler trying to put more cars a lap down. He's now catching the 77 of Nolan Walker and possibly the 99 of Carlos Ortiz. Gap has closed a little bit. Matthew White back to maybe 1.1 seconds, 1.2 possibly. They now will catch the lap car here, the 30 of Elkwich. They'll move to the outside of him as we come to lap number 32. Lindsay's in some traffic. Elkwich finally moves out of the way. Luckily, that does not cost him too much, but now you got Cherry all over his back bumper. He'll move to the outside lane as they battle for the lead. Cherry around the outside. Oh, he's in the wall slightly. That could have given him a minute more damage. That will affect the handling of that number 7. As they head on to the back straightaway. Cherry back to the rear bumper of Pace and Lindsay. Through 1 and 2 they go. Chandler, I believe, now kind of stuck in lap traffic. The gap is beginning to close up between him and Matthew White. Battle for the lead currently in Bristol. About 1 second for the lead, of course, and then you get the battle for third. Hunsicker is now has been put a lap down. And look back here for a quick second. There is your leader in heavy traffic, Nolan Walker ahead of him. And then there's Carlos Ortiz. There is the 18 of Matthew White. Braden Hunsicker now really struggling. He's in the wall once again, being put a lap down. Lindsay still being able to hold on to that spot by Richard Cherry. I believe the 7, after hitting the wall pretty decently, that probably gave him a bit of wheel damage and not really the best handling so far for the 7 of Richard Cherry. Of course, it's more of a rhythm racetrack than anything else here at Bristol Motor Speedway. For 150 lap straight, as Cherry's got momentum on the outside, doesn't really have anywhere to take it. Now he'll go high, but he's going to have the lap car Hunsicker in the way, but Hunsicker may not compromise Lindsay's line as they make their way through 3 and 4. Hunsicker goes up the racetrack, and he will move out of the way of these two. Like I was saying, Bristol Motor Speedway, a big rhythm racetrack. You got to stay confident, cool, and collected for 150 laps straight. of repetitive. Only a 15-second lap time around their last Great Coliseum as Chandler has opened up now a 2-second lead over second place Matthew White. We got Elkwich slow here in the 30. He's kind of all over the racetrack. Currently 2 laps down. They're going to catch him, move down to the inside of that 30. Oh, nearly door slams Payson Lindsay. I'm not really sure what the 30 machine is doing. A bit dangerous there. Only 43 laps into Bristol. Battle for third has been raging on for the last 20 or so laps. Richard Cherry has gotten there on Payson Lindsay, but still, Lindsay being able to hold on. Yeah, now about 3 seconds for the race lead here in Bristol over Cameron Chandler and Matthew White. Through the high banks once again at Bristol Motor Speedway they go, and down the back straightaway there's beginning to actually reel in the 18 of Matthew White. So White, all of a sudden, pace has been really falling off. He's definitely struggling, as you can see. That is just allowing the native Cameron Chandler. He is in very heavy traffic, side by side. Eustace and Nolan Walker, gotta be careful. Your leader as he tries to lap the 99 of Carlos Ortiz as well. He's lapping all the way up to 5th place. Doesn't want to take it too aggressively. He has a 3-second lead. We're only 48 laps in. There's that 51. Eustace, contact is made. Chandler back to the bumper, gives him another shot. And the lap cars side by side ahead of your leader of Bristol. Not something the leader ever wants to see. Now they're back to single file. He's to the inside of that 51. He will clear him off corner exit. Or even before corner exit, I should say. And we'll work on them. Ortiz back to the inside. Ortiz has now momentum on Nolan Walker. He's down to the inside. This is for position for 5th. They're side by side ahead of your race leader. They're definitely hoping for a caution flag to get saved as Chandler goes back around the outside. He got McMillan, I believe, rolling off the pit road. He's currently 27 laps down. Now Ortiz has that 8 of Chandler to his outside. He's going to roll momentum on the top lane. Oh, contact is made between those two. Chandler now around the outside of Nolan Walker. He's almost in the wall slightly. That will kind of hurt his momentum. He's going to have to try to slide in front of Ortiz. He will. He'll go back around the outside of Nolan Walker. Has momentum on that 77. He's gotten to his bumper. Now he's back around the outside. For momentum on the top lane yet again. He's there on the 77 of Walker, trying to put him a lap down. He's already opened up 4 seconds. Oh, he turns him! Nolan Walker goes around. He's stuck in the middle. Oh, he gets hit by Eustace. That'll bring the caution flag out. Matthew White gets damaged. Oh, and Payson Lindsay! My goodness! Huge wreck at Bristol on lap 54. The caution flag is out. White has damage. Cheery, I believe, basically got unscathed. I believe Lindsay has slight damage as well. Eustace in the 51 absolutely destroyed. So is the 77 of Nolan Walker. Braden Hunsicker currently on pit road. Let's take a look at what happened. Your leader, Cameron Chandler, spins out Nolan Walker. So he's to the inside, trying to put him a lap down. Oh, yeah. Did Walker come down? Then he's in the middle of the track. Oh, 51, nowhere to go. Absolutely hits, slammers him. And then 18 of Matthew White gets big damage as well. Payson Lindsay nearly got a piece of it. I believe he got a bit of a piece of it in that 18 machine. The wheel is definitely not rolling on his machine. A big wreck here that takes out multiple contenders. Looking on pit road currently. We'll look at more replays in just a few moments. Cameron Chandler wins the race off pit road. Second's still going to be Lindsay. He actually avoided a lot of damage. But multiple cars still on pit road. Matthew White trying to repair any damage he can. I believe Walker is going to be done for the day. Hunsicker has been on pit road for a bit as well. He is currently 13 laps down. There is Ethan McMillan on the racetrack. He's currently 28 laps down. Here's the 7 rolling off pit road. But a big wreck happening. Let's take more angles at that, riding along now with Payson Lindsay as Hunter Eustace has retired from this race. Unfortunately, he was just hanging on to that lead lap spot. Of course, I think he would have had the free pass as well after that caution flag. Unfortunately, just gets involved. Payson Lindsay actually caught the bumper of Matthew White, who was really, really struggling. Then he got, oh my, look at the hit. Nolan Walker took it, and then, oh my, actually avoided damage somehow. I thought he got a piece of it, but luckily he did not. I'm going to choose this time by. Things happen quick here at Bristol. We'll let the lap cars go. And choose happening. Chandler picks the outside lane. Ortiz is actually going to be on the bottom now. Lindsay is going to put the outside as well. That'll put the 7 there. You got cars on pit road, Matthew White. I believe we're only going to have 4 lead lap cars here to lead us back to the green flag. It was a pretty decently sized long green flag run, about 50 or so laps. Of course, caution flag comes out. We'll be back underway on lap 59. From Bristol Motor Speedway, we're going to have lap cars coming back to the bumper. And here we go. Pace car back down pit road. Back underway in Bristol. Great restart around the outside for the 8 of Cameron Chandler. He will be clear of both the 7 and the 99 of Payson Lindsay. There is Cherry to the inside of that 99 machine. Side by side down the back straightaway in the 3 and 4. Payson Lindsay actually allowed to clear the 7 of Richard Cherry. He's up in the 2nd place. Ooh, bit of a bobble there from the 99. Of course, Cherry has been getting tired of the back bumper of that 99 machine. Was behind him for about 30, 40 laps straight. And he sees him once again. As Chandler begins to pull away, there is that 7 of Cherry to the inside of Payson Lindsay. Battle for 2nd place. And he'll easily clear him. Unlike last time. Now Cherry into 2nd place where he started. Your pulse leader Cameron Chandler still with the race lead as they come to lap 62 in Bristol. Cherry beginning to try to make up some time as they head down the back straightaway. These two could be in a pretty decent fight for the race win. Of course, we saw some pretty good long run pace by the 99 and the 7. One driver that was very, very solid on short run pace was, of course, Matthew White. But, of course, now he is taken out of the race on pit road currently after that last accident. Really rolling off the pits. That's the 16 of Braden Hunsaker. Eight-tenths of a second for the race lead here in Bristol as Elkwich comes down to pit road to maybe retire his car or possibly just take some service. Still about 7/10 as they head down the back straightaway, so Cherry definitely not going away. Chandler not able to run away and hide just yet. We'll see how the run progresses and how the pace goes on. Of course, Cherry was doing all that with a bit of wheel damage, I believe. Got that mostly repaired, has most of his body damage repaired as well. And trying to chase down that 90, that 8 machine of Cameron Chandler. Currently running in 3rd is Payson Lindsay in the 99. Then currently in 4th is that other 99 of Carlos Ortiz. Ortiz, of course, was in jeopardy of being put a lap down. Luckily for him, gets that lucky caution flag. Got him the free pass, and there's only currently 4 cars in the lead lap as Elkwich in the 30 comes back on to the racetrack. Coming to lap number 70 in Bristol. Cameron Chandler, your current race leader, to lap 70. "80 laps to go from the Bristol Motor Speedway currently. It has been kind of a chaotic race so far here at Bristol. Of course, we had that early caution flag with Connor Asma getting involved. We currently have only 4 cars on the lead lap, not just basically halfway now. There's the 99 of Payson Lindsay. He's got Carlos Ortiz closing up to his bumper maybe in a minute. And he got 18, or 16, I should say, of Braden Hunsaker. Back on the track currently, though, 21 laps down. The closest lap car to your lead lap cars is 11 laps down right now, Elkwich. So pretty much without something absolutely insane happening, we'll have at the most 4 cars going for the win here at the end of the race. Hunsaker looks like he does have pace, but unfortunately fell off late in the run and then had to come to pit for damage. So kind of killed all of his momentum, but we could have battled for the lead. Starting to heat up now, about 0.6 of a second as Chandler has a slide off corner exit. Back to now 0.5. Richard Cherry's starting to close up the gap. We're halfway in Bristol. Oh, Chandler in the wall. Big wall pop for the 8. Now Cherry on the outside lane, battle for the lead. Cherry trying to take it away. He's to the outside, and he is clear of Cameron Chandler. Just like that, Chandler hits the wall, and we're going to have to be looking out for the 8 machine. Does he have damage? But he's fighting back around the outside lane. He's got momentum to the outside once again for the race lead in Bristol. He's there, side by side. Through 1 and 2 yet again. Chandler in the wall, though, once again. But he still's got momentum around the outside lane. Definitely the preferred line in this car here at Bristol. Side by side for the lead of the race. Through 1 and 2 yet again. Cherry trying to hold the tough on the inside lane, but Cameron Chandler able to take the lead back. As they approach some more lap traffic, the 30 of Elkwich off the pace yet again. Currently 11 laps down. He will barely let those 2 leaders go. Laps wind down quickly at Bristol. 60 laps to go. It's only a 15-second lap here from the last Great Coliseum. Before you know it, checkered flag is going to be waving here at Bristol Motor Speedway, especially if you keep under green, and we got a fantastic battle currently for the lead of the race. Here's the 7 down the backstretch in the 3 and 4. Cherry on the bumper of Chandler as they roll down the front straightaway yet again. Richard Cherry back around the outside. He's got the front lane. He's going to clear Cameron Chandler pretty easily. Chandler, though, working his way back to the outside. They do have a 4-second lead on Pace and Lindsay as Chandler will lose time. Cherry, your current leader. Through the backstretch they go. Good fight so far for the race lead. We've seen a couple of lead changes over the last 10 or so laps between Richard Cherry and Cameron Chandler. Right along with Chandler as we watch from the helmet cam. Starting to lose a bit of time by the 29 of Richard Cherry as they head through 3 and 4 yet again. Just see the amount of banking here at Bristol. The amount of focus it takes to run clean, consistent lap times here from Bristol Motor Speedway. And this race is 100 laps shorter than the, of course, Cup Series race on Thursday night. It's just a little bit of a taste of what you'll see under the lights in 2 days for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series, their season number 4 race from the Bristol Motor Speedway. Riding along with your leader, Richard Cherry. He is beginning to extend the race lead to Cameron Chandler. I believe after hitting the wall a couple of times, Chandler definitely struggling with a bit of damage on that number 8 machine. There is Chandler currently running in 2nd place. Comes to lap number 91. Chandler still losing a bit of time to Richard Cherry as they head down the back straightaway yet again. It's back to about 8, possibly 9/10 of a second. So I definitely do think we'll look on the side of the machine. I believe it is maybe not too much visual damage, but what's going on underneath the number 8 machine? Because he, of course, was the dominant driver of the day, and then all just like that ran down by Richard Cherry, hit the wall that one time pretty hard, and immediately got past, and now he's falling back even further, nearly to his 2nd. Will he be able to rekindle some long run magic? We'll just have to wait and see as the run continues to go on. Looking back here, we got a battle for third. Carlos Ortiz has gotten around Payson Lindsay after that scruff for the race lead was going on. Ortiz leading that other 99 car down the back straightaway and to the start finish line once again. 56 laps to go from the last Great Coliseum. Still a battle for third going on. Lindsay to the bumper of Ortiz. Battle for the lead is stabilized to about a second, 1.1, but still maybe growing his lead slightly, ever so slightly over these laps is Richard Cherry. Lindsay loses time to Ortiz down the back stretch of the 3 and 4. First, Carlos Ortiz in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League side of things. He was, of course, a full-time Cup Series driver for season number 2 and season number 3. Moved down to the Xfinity Series full-time here for season number 4. Currently sits in the playoff cut lane. It's been an okay season. Been a very quiet season, though, for the driver of the number 10 in the Xfinity Series. He currently sits 8th in the points, tied for the final playoff spot with TJ Moon. Lap number 100 in Bristol. There is your leader, Richard Cherry, now about 1.4 seconds. He has gained a couple of tenths over these last few laps. There's second place. Cameron Chandler back around the outside lane, trying to do anything he can to rekindle his magic. He had dominated the first portion of this race. Now it's Cherry in the number 7 machine out front as McMillan lets Cameron Chandler go. Battle here once again, not really too much going on. Ortiz has extended the gap to about a second over Payson Lindsay. There's Elkwich in the 30, still kind of off the pace. There's Braden Hunsaker running all by himself, multiple laps down. And there is your leader, the 7 of Richard Cherry. Chandler to about 1.2 this time by. He's now experimenting with higher lanes than Cherry. He's got momentum down this front stretch yet again. What will he be able to do as this run continues to go on? Still to about 1.1, which is what he was at before. 1.1, 1.2, 1.1 is kind of what it's staying at for the most part. I think lap traffic definitely kind of affected the driver of the number 8 machine. So we'll see what he's able to do, though. Kind of running maybe a lane, quarter of a lane higher than the driver of the 7. It's starting to kind of work out now to about a second for the race lead. Into the 10ths now, 9/10 of a second. We could have a battle for the lead starting to heat up in just a few moments here from Bristol Motor Speedway. There's Chandler once again through 1 and 2 and down the backstretch. So laps beginning to wind down here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Lap 108 is officially underway of 150. 6/10 of a second now, big gain on that lap by Chandler. He is closing the gap up to Cherry. Your points leader, the dominant driver of the season so far, starting to regain the gap from the driver that won last week. Beginning to catch lap traffic now. There's the 30 of Elkwich. The leader at least moves easily to the inside of him. Oh, and Chandler kind of get held up by the 30s of the wall. He's gonna nearly get him cut around. As they head down the back straightaway yet again. Now heavy lap traffic now kind of get helped up there by the 16 of Braden Hunsaker, but still actually somehow gained a bit of time on the 8 of Cameron Chandler. He is now stuck behind the 16 of Hunsaker. He's losing time back to about 8/10, possibly 9/10 of a second. Hunsaker hits the wall. and now will finally let Chandler go, but he definitely lost a tenth or two by doing all that. Cherry currently leads, and I'm sorry, I actually said Richard Cherry won last week at Atlanta. He did not. It was actually Cameron Chandler going to victory lane, so the driver of the 8 trying to catch up to Richard Cherry to maybe go 2 in a row. But we continue to count the lap times by, the laps down, coming back to just 35 laps to go in Bristol. I mean, this track is so small. Lap times take, of course, 15 seconds, even with the ARCA car. We could be done here in about 8 minutes' time if we stay green. That's just how much little time, even though it looks like a bit of time left to go, 35 laps. It's down in the single-digit minutes if we keep it green here. That's just how little time Cameron Chandler has to try to catch up to the rear bumper of Richard Cherry. He's closing, though, once again, down the back straightaway, back to about maybe 0.5 of a second. But Cherry is going to be putting his car where I think Cameron Chandler is once he maybe gets there. They got some lap traffic ahead of him. That's Ethan McMillan. McMillan has been doing a good job getting out of the way of leaders. Chandler now running even higher, maybe about a lane and a half up where Cherry's running. He will maybe get compromised here by McMillan. He'll have to try to move down to the inside. He has to move a little bit lower on his lane. One thing that maybe could change everything is a caution flag, but how about Carlos Ortiz? Currently running in third. He's down to about 2 seconds for the lead. He is honestly, I think, catching these two leaders, Cherry and Chandler. I believe he's probably the fastest car on the racetrack, down to about 1.9. Don't look now, but Carlos Ortiz could be in position on the long run. He wasn't even in my thoughts about 5 laps ago. But running some very competitive lap times, and he is closing up the gap, but does he have enough time to make a run at it? For the lead now, it's kind of stabilized to about 0.6 of a second. Chandler not really making any big gains all around. He's gotten clear of the lap traffic with McMillan. That was a couple of laps ago. And still not really gaining a whole lot. 27 to go, currently coming to 26 to go in Bristol. Down to about half a second. 0.4 maybe. He's maybe closing the gap. Now Cherry will respond, and he will start to try to the outside lane. Ortiz to about 1.8, 1.7 seconds behind him. That kind of stalls out Cameron Chandler's momentum. Now he's in the exact same lead of Carlos, or I should say Richard Cherry, and that's going to be giving him some dirty air off the nose of the 7. Yeah, we can see it on the timing sheets. Down to about 0.6 of a second, kind of just stalling out for Chandler. He runs even higher to the wall. The lane will only be extended as the run continues to go on. Chandler doing everything he can to try to close the gap, but he's losing time. Cherry runs a faster lap time that time by. Now, Chandler's got to worry about Carlos Ortiz, who could possibly be in contention maybe for a second-place finish. They will get, there's a lap car at Elkwich once again. They lapping him nonstop. He's currently, I believe, 42 laps down. He kind of sits in the way of the leader for a bit. Not really what Cherry needed to see there. He still has a pretty comfortable lead over Cameron Chandler right now at about a second as they head to 20 laps to go. Here's Ortiz to the inside. Chandler held up by the lap car. Carlos Ortiz for second place. Lap car finally going to move down to the inside. Oh, what is he doing? Slides him in front of the 99. That's going to kill his momentum. Not really sure what Elkwich in the 30 was doing there, and that will really not make Carlos Ortiz too happy. He's going to possibly lose out on his opportunity of grabbing second place. Chandler thanking God for that one, and he is going to be kind of a little bit in a safer position than before. That 30 Elkwich has been all over the racetrack all night long. Ortiz, though, not going away. There on Chandler yet again. He's trying to work his way back to the inside. For second again. Chandler slightly in the wall. He's been struggling late in the run here at Bristol. Ortiz is there. They're side by side. Down the back straightaway. Ortiz drives it in deep. He's almost clear, but not clear just yet. Still side by side. This is just allowing Sherry to pull away for the lead yet again. Door to door for the second position. Chandler taps the wall slightly, not willing to give this one up just easily. Still door to door, down the back straightaway they go. Chandler around the outside has momentum. Ortiz sticking his nose back in there. Chandler doing a nice job around the outside, keeping it steady with him as they come to 11 to go this time by. Chandler gonna clear Ortiz yet again. Ortiz, though, not giving up, back to the inside. Almost contact. Good old short track racing for P2. The lead is about 1.8. Cherry continuing to extend his gap over these two. Chandler on the wall slightly. That gives momentum back to the inside to come to 10 to go. Side by side for second place late in the race in Bristol. Oh, that's Chandler on the wall. Ortiz barely clears it. Chandler not giving up. He's back to his bumper. Has to let off through 1 and 2 as they head down the back straightaway. And finally, into second place is Carlos Ortiz. What a drive by the 99 so far tonight in Bristol. He is honestly even running a bit faster lap times than your leader, Richard Cherry, but don't think he has enough time, just coming to 7 to go this time by. For the driver of the number 7, Richard Cherry. Chandler back to third place. Dominated the first 70 or so laps of this race. Hit the wall a couple of times. That kind of seemed to knock all the speed out of the state car. Currently having to settle for third. Race isn't over. Anything can happen. You look at some lap traffic. You got Pace and Lindsay well clear of everybody. Then you got Braden Hunson with the 70 McMillan. I believe Elkwich is off the track. Here's Cherry, 4 laps to go. Behind him, there is Ethan McMillan, actually running a bit quicker, I believe, than Cameron Chandler. Yeah, Chandler has been really, really falling off as of late. That 8 machine, all the speed got knocked out of it for whatever reason. And not having the finish to his 9th, Cameron Chandler would have wanted. It's still a podium position, but your points leader has been dominant so far this season. And McMillan, yeah, he's just going to let him go. He knows it's over. Coming to 2 to go this time by. If we don't get a caution flag, race will be official. 1.6 seconds. What a late charge by Carlos Ortiz. Trying to get there under Cherry, but it looks like it's not going to be enough as Cherry will come through 3 and 4 to see the white flag this time by. 1 lap to go in Bristol. Final lap for the driver of the 7. He's gone the victory lane a couple of times this season, and he heads down the back straightaway for the final time. Took the lead about halfway from Cameron Chandler, and he's never going to look back. Checkered flag in the air. Richard Cherry wins iCar in Bristol. Second place going to be Carlos Ortiz. He hit the wall. Still comes home P2, though. Chandler gets third. Not really sure what happened to Ortiz. He's got damage, and we'll have to take a look at what happened as Lindsey Rex to come home in 4th position. Richard Cherry, what a performance at the end of this race. Takes the lead from Cameron Chandler, holds off Carlos Ortiz there at the end. We'll have to see what happened with Ortiz on the final lap. Luckily, he still is able to hold on for P2. Richard Cherry wins in Bristol. What a performance by the driver of the 7. As he will roll through here once again. Richard Cherry, your race winner. He currently sits 11th in the points. 1 win on the season. This is definitely going to help his points total a whole lot. Drivers that are not going to be helped by all of this. Drivers like Connor Aswell, who's currently 12th in the points. He finishes 11th here tonight. Not what he wants to see. And Ortiz, or I should say Cherry, doing the Polish victory lap. We'll see what happened to Ortiz here at the end of the race. We'll have some post-race interviews coming up as well. As the checkered flag flies in Bristol. Richard Cherry, your race winner. Overall, pretty good showing by these iCar drivers here tonight from the last great Coliseum. And Richard Cherry will bring that machine to victory lane. Actually, a new thing you could do here at Bristol Motor Speedway is actually bring your car up the ramp to victory lane. We'll see this, of course, in the Cup race on Thursday. You will burn it down and will park it in victory lane, your winner from Bristol. And post-race interviews coming up. Let's take a look, though, real quick at what happened to Carlos Ortiz there on the final lap. It was all smooth rolling to the end of this race. Flag this time by Ortiz. Oh, he's riding the... I guess it's not illegal in iCar. He rides the wall through 1 and 2. If it is illegal, we'll have to see what the call on this, because he didn't gain any position. And then he gets stuck in the wall through 3 and 4. That almost cost him 2nd place. Chandler had a huge run there at the end. One more corner even. That was going to be 3rd for Carlos Ortiz. I mean, he gave it all at the end. Of course, it ultimately ended up failing miserably, but that'll do it in Bristol. We'll be back in 2 days for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series Season number 4 race from Bristol Motor Speedway. No action tomorrow night on track. No Xfinity Series or anything, but we will have post-race interviews coming up, if we have any, from Bristol Motor Speedway and iCar. All right. Richard Cherry, a strong performance there at the end of the race for you guys. You collect your 2nd win of the season. Definitely will help you guys in points. So ultimately, take me through how you were able to catch the fading Cameron Chandler and hold on for the race win.
I mean, I just took advantage of the mistake he made. I mean, he hit the wall and he said his car was just too tight. So, you know, took advantage of it. And then I just rode the bottom until he went to the top. Then I rode the top and, yeah, that's about it. I also got lucky with Jack, which, you know, I'm still going to say it. I mean, if you're going to be that dangerous, you just have to quit the race. I mean, he probably cost Miles the win because he was faster there at the end. So, you know, nice win there, but whatever. I'm lucky that I got the 2 wins at the 2 tracks that have victory lane.
All right, so how much momentum is this going to give you guys, and how much of a big confidence boost will it be? So you guys, I think we're about 10th in the points, so this will be pretty good for that going into the final couple of races of the season.
I mean, I don't know what races I'm going to run. I'm going to be honest with it. Probably linear. It depends on whether I can make it or not. And the rest of the races are the same, so, you know. Let's see how the rest of the races go.
All right, well, congratulations on the victory here tonight from Bristol Motor Speedway and iCar. And I guess we'll see you in the next iCar race or the next FedEx Xfinity Series race you do.
All right, thank you.
All right, I don't know why streaming mode's not on Discord, but whatever. All right. So, of course, continuing post-race interviews here from Bristol Motor Speedway. coming up next will be second place Carlos Ortiz. Carlos Ortiz, a valiant effort for you guys. It'll ultimately be P2. You were able to catch and pass Cameron Chandler there towards the end of the race. You had more pace there on Richard Cherry at the end, so very good pace for you guys. You rode the wall there in the final couple of laps. Just take me through that final run as you were one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. Don't know if he heard me. All right, well, he's left. All right, so we'll try that again if he comes back. Cameron Chandler coming up next, though. We'll try it again. All right, so Carlos Ortiz, it'll be a P2 finish here tonight from Bristol Motor Speedway. I don't know if you heard my question from before, but a valiant effort for you guys. You wall rode there at the end, so just take me through those final about 30 laps in that last green flag run, being one of the fastest cars on the racetrack, nearly having enough pace to catch Cherry.
Yeah, I heard you the first time. Sorry, my mic broke. It's just disappointing. A lap car just ruined the race. Jack was just going up and down the track the entire race, and then goes on the apron, stops on the track into turn 3. I have to brake, and I just couldn't pass Chandler. He was racing me for position, which it's his job. He shouldn't give me any room, but if he didn't come up on me, I would have got him past Cameron at his weakest, and I for sure would have won that race. So just disappointing, but at least, Bristol was probably my best racetrack on iRacing. I get to show that I have the long run and I can kick ass when I need to.
All right, so how much of a confidence boost is this going to give you guys, though? As you know, you are beginning to get more and more pace, and of course, heading into the FedEx Xfinity Series at Darlington next week. What do you guys think you can do there?
I have to go win that race. It's probably my best racetrack behind Bristol. If I don't win that race, then I don't see hope for myself for winning the rest of the season. So it's a win or nothing for me, that race. So it'll be exciting to see what I do.
All right, well, nice job still in the second place. Sorry about those kind of late race frustrations, but we'll see you in the FedEx Xfinity Series race and then the iCar race next week.
Yeah, thank you.
Up next, going to be third place, Cameron Chandler. Cameron Chandler, very interesting race for you guys. It was a dominant first half, of course, after winning the pole, but then it looked like after the last caution flag came out, Cherry had the upper hand on you, hit the wall that one time, and ultimately you will end up finishing third after losing a bunch of time there at the end. So just take me through what happened there in that final run.
Yeah, so first I'm sorry to everyone that got taken out in the second caution. I didn't mean to spin the 77, but just frustrated with him being in the way, and I thought he was a little bit higher up, and unfortunately we made some contact. But yeah, on the restart we were a little bit distracted. Not gonna say what we were doing because that's the police. Well, I guess the police can't really enforce this, but yeah, a little bit distracted driving and ran into the wall, and for some reason that gave us a ton of wheel damage and just killed our car completely, and that's what lost us the race. So, unfortunate to lose a race that we were so fast in, but good to see that we'll still have the speed for hopefully Thursday.
So, of course, talking about Thursday night, it's the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series at Bristol. So, of course, you won that race last season in one of your part-time series starts. You also won the Xfinity Series race. What's your chances on maybe going back-to-back for Bristol wins and possibly getting your first Cup win of the season?
I'm not gonna say anything about my chances to win because anytime I feel confident I can win, I either hardly come second to Cole Wilson, get straight up beat by Matthew White, or taken out by I can't say that word, but taken out by Maniacs at Fontana. So we'll hope we can be fast, and we'll hope we'll be in contention at the end.
All right, well, still nice job on the run here tonight, and we'll see you in the Cup race in 2 days.
Yep, thank you.
Up next is going to be Pace and Lindsay. Pace and Lindsay, you looked pretty quick there, maybe in the first run. The second run, you kind of fell off. We're pretty quiet there. So ultimately, take me through what more you guys needed there towards the end of the race to maybe be up there contending.
Yeah, just kind of burned up our tires the second run. The first run, I thought on the long run we had a winning car, but on that second run, I was just burning up my tires too much. I was staying a little too low off the corner, and that was just burning the right front more than it needed to be. And then I started to run the top with like 20 to go, and it just made it worse. So I feel like if that first run went green, we probably would have had a chance at the win. But after that caution with I believe it was like 2 lap cars in turn 1, just didn't have anything for the front 3. But we'll go after it in FedEx on Thursday.
Yeah, so of course, speaking about the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series race Thursday night here in Bristol Motor Speedway, you guys had a bit of an interesting moment happen last season, but you're looking for your first one of the year, looking for some maybe redemption from Fontana 2 weeks ago. Do you guys think you're going to be able to maybe put it all together, possibly get your first one of the season?
Hopefully so. This is one of my best tracks with cars that aren't the next gen. So if I just get a little bit more practice and get a little better here on the long runs, I feel like I can contend for the win.
All right, Payson. Well, nice job. Still in the top 5 here at Bristol, and we'll see you in the Cup race on Thursday.
Thank you.
Final interview of the night going to be Ethan McMillan. Ethan McMillan, you finished 32 laps down. It's still 6th place, but I believe what happened to take you guys kind of out of contention in this race?
It was mostly Asbel basically running me into the... Well, I spun out, but he basically spun me out in turn 2 on lap 2, and that kind of just put me out right off the bat with 8 minutes of repair. So I just went in and repaired off the start and just kind of limped it around to somehow a 6th place finish.
All right, so still, of course, that top 10 finish here at Bristol Motor Speedway for the iCar race. Will we see you in any other iCar races throughout the rest of this season?
Yes, I plan to run as many as possible. Just been busy with the schedule conflicts with some stuff I'm doing, so I do plan to run more. I worked on my paint scheme right before this, so got to run it for a little bit. Didn't get much screen time, I don't think, spinning out so early.
All right, Ethan. Well, nice job. Still in the run here tonight. Sorry, kind of ended out with damage for you guys early in the race, but we'll see you in the next iCar race you're able to do.
Yep.
And that'll do it here for tonight for the iCar Racing Association, the iCar Pro Series, or whatever you want to call it. Race here from Bristol Motor Speedway. So, of course, the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series will be live on Thursday night in 2 days' time from the Bristol Motor Speedway. It's the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series then, and it's their 6th race of season number 4, and you don't want to miss that coming up next week, or next 2 days, I should say. My God. So on behalf of everybody in iCar, all officials, commentators, drivers, everybody involved in making iCar what it is, we will see you on Thursday night for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series race from Bristol Motor Speedway. And good night. We'll see you on Thursday in Bristol.